Now, for more on the home organizing market, I'm joined by Pierrette Ashcroft. She's a certified professional organizer and also CEO of Smart Productivity Solutions. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, how did this idea of the home organizing service as an industry start taking off?
It was probably about 15 years ago, I think, in the U.S. The first time I saw it was actually on Home and Garden television. And there were several shows, and I realized I had been doing it all along, and I could do it as a profession.
And what is it about our changing lifestyles that's now made this more of a necessity than it was before?
I think now people are doing more. They don't have time to take care of the things at home. They buy more than they used to, and they're just overwhelmed and stressed with all of their accumulations.
And speaking of that, since in certain countries people tend to accumulate more, what are some of the knock-on effects, especially when it comes to storage companies or storage space?
Yeah, here in the U.S. we have a big company called the Container Store, and all they sell are containers for our things. And it's, but now all of the stores, they all have a department with organizing products.
So what is it psychologically about giving up things that we already have versus kind of putting them out of sight, out of mind, and spending sometimes thousands of dollars on storage units?
Yeah, people spend a lot of time on storage outside of their home. I think people become attached to things rather than concentrating on experiences or people.
Now, what are the countries that tend to gravitate towards these sorts of services the most?
I think U.S. is probably the #1 because we tend to do everything larger. We buy a lot more. We have larger homes than most of, but there is also, there's a National Association of Organizers in the U.S., there's an organization in Canada, in the U.K., and in Asia.
Yes, I was hearing about this actually growing in Japan, which comes as a surprise, being that it's considered more of a minimalist society. Why do you think it's growing there?
I think because they have such tiny spaces that they really need to be organized and curate what they're going to keep.
Now, what about the link between home organizing and house prices? Some people think if house prices are going up and I can't afford to move, I have to make the most of the space I have. Are you seeing any sort of correlation like that?
I really haven't. I have clients in a range, those who are in small rental units up to big multi-bedroom and bathroom homes. Everyone has too much stuff.
Now, as part of the solutions, we're also seeing obviously a growth in home organizing products then, as you mentioned, the Container Store and things that people can use. What are some examples of things that people can use to try and organize their life?
Well, I've brought a couple. I have some containers here that these actually stack, so you can put the things in. I've used labels on each one, so a label maker is your best friend when you're organizing, because you can label what goes in, people know where to put things and where to find them.
So both making things clear and compact.
Yeah.
Now, what about some of the misperceptions about the industry? A lot of people, when they think of home organizing, they're not really sure what you're coming to do. Are you just coming to tidy up? Are you coming to give them life skills about how to keep themselves organized once you've gone? What are some of the misperceptions that you find?
I think the #1 is that I'm going to take their things away. But I'm there actually to help them decide what they want to keep and what they want to get rid of. So it's really up to them. I'm teaching them how they can get organized and stay organized. So I'm not just going in and doing the work for them. Now, I'm teaching them skills.
Right. Now, what about some of the demographics? Who's really using this service? Does it tend to be, as you said, people who are perhaps younger, busier, or people going through different stages in life? What are you finding?
Yeah, I think it's people who are having lifestyle changes. If you have a child, a death in the family, a marriage, a new job, you may have been organized at one time and just get overwhelmed by the new situation. So I think most people call me when something has happened and they need to make a change.
And just lastly, what are some tips that people can use when it comes to organizing their lifestyle and also being careful, because there are some organizers out there, perhaps they don't have the credentials. So what are some tips and things that people should be aware of?
I mean, you can ask what is the training or certification that somebody has. You want to work with somebody who you have a good relationship with, because they're going to be in your home going through all of your stuff. And we have very personal relationships with the people we work with. So you want to be comfortable and ask what their style is, and does it work with you?
All right, we'll have to leave it there, but thank you so much. Lots of information there from Pierrette Ashcroft, CEO of Smart Productivity Solutions.
Thank you so much.